a very special, very close friend of mine here on the stream today. It is my good friend Leon from Hong Kong and beyond. Leon, what is going on?
Quite a bit, actually. As a lot of the viewers that watch us may know, I had an operation recently, and I'm recovering pretty well from that, and things are looking good. So, what needs to be done should be done. Life has been good. We've been enjoying the reviews we've been given to do, and following everybody else's stuff. And I'm just so glad to be here with you today, brother Caleb. Thank you for suggesting this. Really, really chuffed and really looking forward to this session.
Yeah, thanks for joining again. I do have to I do have to say just for the viewers out there. I mean, for those who don't know, I mean, who don't personally know Leon. When I asked him to do this stream, I said, I said, I know it's been a while since we did something like this, but I've really been itching to do another one because it's been so long since we did one, and and I had to say, guys, for those again who don't personally know Leon, the nicest guy in the world. He said any time and every time when it comes to doing a stream. So yeah, thanks for doing this. I really appreciate it because I was a little I don't know. I wasn't scared to do this again. It's just been a while, and I was just kind of worried I might look rusty at this or something.
Are you okay? I had to go and pee before I came on here, like a little bit of the old nerves, but that's good. Keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, I don't see anybody joining the stream just yet. But we'll give that a little bit of time. I'm sure some people will come in, and we're just gonna. This is really just any other stream that we've had. This is really just a discussion. If there's any comments that drop in, we'll bring them up and we'll address those if need be. And of course, hello to everybody who might come back and watch this later who isn't going to be joining the stream. So thanks for watching. Anybody who is not subscribed to this channel, of course, subscribe to Caleb's Kung Fu Cinema and comment all that good stuff, and subscribe to Hong Kong and Beyond. I gotta say, Leon, it's great to see you back on the channel. You were, again, I know you said you had an operation recently, and you were missing in action for a little bit on the channel there, but it's good to see you back on there.
I was. Shaz took over, and we got more subscribers. And
when you came back, they left.
Yeah, I know. I had to take a back seat, I think, and realize that it's not just me; it's very much a partnership.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I need to stop and listen to what Shaz has to say, because it's actually, she's got her head screwed on and she knows what's good for the channel. So I've been trying to step back a little bit or just move to the side and allow her the freedom to put in the creativity that she wants to do as well, which is really working out well, I think.
Yeah, that's great. I kept up, whenever she was doing the solo stuff while you were out of action. But yeah, she did a really great job, and I like what she had to say. But I also like seeing both of you guys on there. I mean, obviously, you guys being married, the chemistry is there, and it's I like seeing you guys play off each other. So it was good it was good while she was there, but also good to see you coming back. My wife Amber, she was telling me earlier that actually that she had to go to work. So shout out to my wife. She's not here. I had to go to work, but she was telling me before she left that she'd like to do a stream too. So hopefully at some point I'll get her on here too.
Fantastic. That'd be good.
Yeah, this table I'm sitting at though is kind of small, so I don't know how I'm gonna be able to get both of us in the frame here because we'd be sitting pretty close together. But hopefully I can make something work there.
Oh, we do that all the time. We're squashed up like this.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, everyone who's tuning in right now or is going to come back and watch this, subscribe to Caleb's Kung Fu Cinema, subscribe to Hong Kong and Beyond. Obviously, Hong Kong and Beyond, great channel. I'm not going to say my channel is great because I'm just.
It is.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Well,
if you're not subscribed, you need to do it. There's
Yeah.
great content, and Caleb knows his stuff.
Yeah, I can't say my channel is great though. I'm too self-deprecating, but yeah, I do appreciate the subscribers. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, looks like we got one person in there. So yeah, thanks for watching. Anyway, we'll go ahead and jump into our main topic today. You guys may have noticed the title. Leon came up with this title, so good on Leon for coming up with this. Yeah, we got close encounters of the Bruceploitation kind here today on Kaleb's Kung Fu Cinema. Yeah, so obviously Bruceploitation, all the rage right now. Ever since the really big announcement on March 27th, I believe that was the date. Yeah, ever since that big announcement on March 27th, Bruceploitation is back and it is bigger than ever. Yeah, so we got a really big release coming for Bruceploitation really soon. And we'll just start off by talking about that real quick. So yeah, and Leon, Leon actually covered this a little bit on his recent video where he's covering the monthly releases. Great video, by the way. I like you to do more of those. I don't think there's enough. I don't know if there's enough channels out there, at least none that I like actively keep up with that are like covering releases. I want to start doing that myself. Hopefully I can find the time to do that or figure out a good format for it. But I like that you're covering releases. So I hope you keep doing that.
It's funny you should say that, actually, because I was going to try and twist your arm into covering the US ones.
I probably will. I'll probably do that. That's a good idea, actually. So anyway, yeah. Leon did cover this a little bit in his monthly release video. Obviously, March 27th, it was announced that they were going Severin Films, more specifically, is going to be releasing a big Bruceploitation box set. It's going to be the Game of Clones Volume 1. Obviously, that means we're going to be getting some more, which is really exciting. But yeah, Game of Clones Volume 1 from Severin. It's going to have 14 Bruceploitation films, and that is insane. And it will also, of course, include the recently released documentary Enter the Clones of Bruce. The documentary has been making waves. It's still doing a lot of screenings around the world. Our good friend Jason from Martial Arts Theater 3000, shout out to Jason for just for being the awesome channel that he is. Jason's done a lot of coverage on Bruceploitation, so thanks to Jason for that. He recently went to a screening, which was really cool from what he had told us. Got to meet Bruce Lee, Michael Worth, all that good stuff. I'm super jealous.
Me too. I mean, how cool to have been there to experience that. Oh.
Yeah. I'm incredibly jealous of the fact that he got to meet Bruce Lee, because I think with my journey so far in Bruceploitation, I think Bruce Lee might be my favorite. I've really enjoyed watching him. So I'm super jealous that he got to meet him. I would have loved to meet him.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, and they all bring something different to the table, don't they? As we'll get into later. But yeah, to have met him at a screening and see that documentary, which I've heard so much good about so far, I can't wait. I mean, I have a planned screening myself that I've got to be button-lipped about. But yeah, I will hopefully be going to see that. Well, we'll be going to see it, but that's why I'm missing the Fighting Spirit Film Festival one, is because I'm hanging on for something else.
Nice. Yeah. I haven't. There's gonna be a couple of screenings close to where I am. Not in my state, but not too far, a few hours away. But with my new job, it's just not easy to kind of get the timing right to go check that out. So it looks like my first viewing experience for Enter the Clones of Bruce will be whenever that box set comes out, which the box set, going back to that, that's coming out. I believe the official release date is June 24th or 25th, something like that.
Yeah, I think so. And I'm looking forward. I haven't ordered it myself yet. I've tried to order it with the pay-in free. Shout out to Jason again, pay-in free, and it won't let you do it in the UK. So I'm like, oh, nuts. So I've got to save in free, and then hopefully I can just order it.
Right. Yeah, no, man, I pre-ordered my set day one, which probably wasn't the smartest financial decision, but I had to. I couldn't miss it. I had to. I took a chance, basically.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. If I could have done, I would have done, but I'm still, fingers crossed, I'm going to get my hands on that. I'm relative newcomer to Bruceploitation, or at least the deep dives. So like yourself and some of the other guys, we kind of look to Jason on these things, and he's really kind of inspired us. And I'm like, oh man, you got me spending more money again. I'm going to be spending more money and extending the already extensive collection. But that being said, I'm super excited. And as you say, it's the hot potato at the minute, isn't it? And I think it's going to generate a lot of interest and make people dig a lot deeper into what kung fu films are out there. It'll probably lead on to other things too. So, exciting times ahead.
Definitely. Yeah. I think, I think I've grown. I said this in my previous Bruceploitation video that I did about a month or two ago. I don't even remember when I did that, but yeah, when I did that Bruceploitation video, I think I had mentioned that in recent months, I've come to like really love this genre. In like the early days, again, I had said this, I didn't even realize for the longest time that Bruceploitation was a thing, and whenever I would see those movies, I had seen some of them, but again, not realizing what it was, and I would see them and think, oh, this is just kind of, maybe in some ways a little disrespectful and stuff like that. It just felt very bizarre and just didn't feel right. Felt really awkward at the time. But of course, I was young, and of course, when I got older, and especially when I started doing Kaleb's Kung Fu Cinema and actually started really exploring other films and like other subgenres of martial arts action, I grew to really love the subgenre that is Bruceploitation. And again, we have Jason to thank for that. Jason introduced me to the Clones Cast a couple years ago, and when I found out about it, yeah, he told me about it, and I thought, well, it came up because I was talking to him about a Bruceploitation movie that I had seen many years ago called Bruce Lee Superstar. And yeah, and he and I were trying to figure out like what the official title of it was, because for those who don't know, Bruceploitation, the titles are, I don't want to say interchangeable, but the titles have gotten mixed up a lot. Like there are so many Bruceploitation movies out there that have like 4 or 5 different titles, and so Bruce Lee Superstar was a movie that when I knew it as a kid, it was called The Young Bruce Lee. But there's other movies that go by that same name as well. So again, it can be very confusing. But he told me about the Clones Cast, and they had actually covered that specific movie, Bruce Lee Superstar, on the podcast. And when I found the podcast, he told me about it when I found it, and listening to the episode, I thought the episode was great, and then I just started combing through everything. I started listening to like every single episode on there, and it's a fantastic show. That podcast like really helped me learn to appreciate this genre. Have you heard any of the Clones Cast, Leon?
Yes, I have, and I'm glad to see that after a long hiatus, they've been back with a couple of more recent episodes, and I've listened to those as well. So I don't know how I discovered the Clones Cast. Actually, I think I just search out as many like kung fu or Asian cinema podcasts as I can. It gets me through my working day.
Yeah.
So I have Sean at 344, I have Podcast on Fire, who I like a lot. There's Heroes 3, Asian Cinema Film Club, Heroic Purgatory. I could go on and on. I listen to way too many. I'm probably insane. But yeah, Clones Cast is right up there, isn't it? It's so entertaining. Even though at that point I've not seen those Bruceploitation films and still haven't most of them, it did like ignite a little bit of passion, just a tiny bit. And you may remember like a little while back on our video, we covered Fist of Fury 2. And we really enjoyed that, Shaz and I. And that was because listening to Clones Cast. And we also watched on YouTube the Clones of Bruce Lee, where you got Bruce Lee 1, Bruce Lee 2, and Bruce Lee 3. I mean, 3 Bruces for the price of 1, man. How cool is that? And so, yeah, we've got Jason, the Clones Cast, and now Frank Jeng and Michael Worth, and all these guys bringing us so much goodness. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm super excited about that box set. I have seen I cannot remember the entire list of movies that is on there. If anybody watching this like right now, if you could drop in the comments the full list of the Game of Clones set, I would most definitely appreciate it. But yeah, I do not remember the full list. But a couple of the ones that like stick out the most to me, like for one, the biggest one is Enter the Game of Death, which I had seen several months back, but I absolutely love that movie, and so I'm super excited to see like a Blu-ray version of it. Because the version that I had seen it on a streaming service called Tubi, and the quality was not that good. So excuse me. So it'll be good to finally see that in like a Blu-ray, a good Blu-ray master. And then there's going to be like some other rare ones too, like I think Big Boss 2 is going to be on there as a bonus.
First time. I
Yeah.
mean, I can't believe they found that. I mean, it's so exciting. I mean, what people don't take into account is all the effort and the time, you know, the research, what they've had to do to chase down these films.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, wow. If they make anything out of this at the end of the day, it'd be amazing just because they've, you know, had to put all that time and effort into it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I hope they do. And I hope people go nuts and, you know, make this a sold out project, because then we can get, you know, box 2, box 3. Who knows where it ends? Right. I've just found the box set, Caleb. So I'll see if I can give you a list of all the films if you like.
Yeah, definitely. Gung Fu, hey, thanks for tuning into the live stream. So Gung Fu says, I find it strange that some favor Bruceploitation over the original Bruce Lee. I think Quentin Tarantino does that. Yeah. Yeah, I had heard that too. Jason, once again, Jason had actually, he and I had a conversation about it, and he had mentioned that I think he had said that that Quentin Tarantino had said that he preferred Fist of Fury Part 2 over the original, like Bruce Lee Fist of Fury. And personally, I don't think I would go that far. I'm not saying I actually haven't even seen Fist of Fury Part 2, at least not in its entirety. But from what I have seen, it looks really good, really fun time. But I don't know if I would go that far either in saying it's probably better than the original Fist of Fury. But again, me being the Bruce Lee guy that I am, and Fist of Fury being the very first kung fu movie that I ever saw, for me, it's going to be hard to say if anything that kind of copied that was better.
Yeah, no, I don't know if it's the same for everybody, but for me, sometimes you get something that's perfect, and I kind of feel repelled by it. You know, it's like we got Star Wars, which is right up there for science fiction fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was a kid, yeah, Star Wars was great, and I collected Star Wars figures because I was that generation. But then when we go to the video shop, you'd see all these like low budget Star Wars clones, or these Italian ones like Star Crash or Battle Beyond the Stars from Roger Corman. And when I went and wanted to hire something out, I wanted to hire out the ones that weren't Star Wars. I wanted to see what else was out there. And I had more pleasure out of watching those than I probably did Star Wars, which is insane. And people will be screaming now, going, right, that's it, I'm turning off, not listening to this dude. But I think something about finding something that exists because of something else. It's like you feel like Indiana Jones. Oh, look what I found. Nobody else knows about this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the creativity, the imagination that they inject into these films. They might not have, Bruce in there, the superstar, but sometimes they thought outside the box, and they give you a different storyline or a different type of choreography that you wouldn't have got then, and it's just interesting. It's interesting to see what's out there. And I think that's part of the appeal, is just making discoveries and seeing these oddities. I love it, I would never say, it's better than Bruce, because we love Bruce. We've all seen Bruce, and we always go back and return to Bruce. But if there's something else out there and it's been inspired by Bruce, then maybe that's got some merit. Maybe it's got some worth. Maybe have a look at it, and maybe you might be surprised at how much you enjoyed it.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. And I think just to kind of take it a step further on what you're saying, I think if there's like any kind of if there's any kind of preference among the audience, if there's any kind of preference for Bruceploitation more than Bruce Lee himself, I think it might be because or a factor of it at least may be that there is just the sheer volume of Bruceploitation movies out there. Bruce Lee, again, as great as he was, he only lived to make 4.5 films, and of course those movies, I've said this before, I say it all the time, of course those movies had a really long lasting impact, and to this day people still watch those movies and talk about how great they were and how influential they were. But at the same time, it was only 4.5 movies. So I think some of the preference may come from the fact that there's just so many Bruceploitation movies out there. And then also, also, again, like Leon had said, the creativity was really there too.
Hmm.
Again, as great as Bruce Lee's movies were, I mean, I love those movies, but I think, I think in some aspects, the creativity with the Bruceploitation movies kind of blows the Bruce Lee ones out of the water in some ways.
Yeah.
Just from the perspective of someone who's like really looking for entertainment and creativity. Bruce Lee's movies were very serious,
Yeah.
except for Way of the Dragon. Like that one, of course, that one had like a bit of a serious tone towards the end. But for the most part, Way of the Dragon was very goofy. So I
Hmm.
think, just in terms of like the amount of films and as well as just like the entertainment factor, I think that maybe where a lot of the preference comes from for Bruceploitation.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at it like logically, Bruce first worked with Lo Wei as a director for The Big Boss and Fist of Fury. Obviously, they had a low budget on The Big Boss, which is why they filmed in Thailand. And Lo Wei was, at this time, he wasn't like the most highly renowned director. He'd done a lot of films at Shaw's, but he wasn't one of the most, respected. That wasn't at the top of the ladder. And so Bruce obviously had issues working with him, and they were clashing all the time. And you could see that follow through with, like, obviously Jackie Chan. He wanted to get away from Lo Wei, and that's only when he became a star. So you had two films with a director that wasn't an ideal fit for him. And then his third film, he was directing himself. So he's a complete newbie. So you've got that disadvantage too. And then you've got his fourth film, Enter the Dragon. He's going over international. So he's making that huge leap straight away, and all that strain that would have been on him. So every film he did, there's been some disadvantage there for him and for the film. People have often said if you take Bruce Lee out of a Bruce Lee film, how good is the film, or how good would it be if you put somebody else in there? Now that's up for debate. Personally, I watched the Bruceploitation or films that Bruce might have been in, like say Jimmy Wang Yu's Man from Hong Kong, and think, what would this film have been like if Bruce was in it? How
Yeah.
different would it have been? How good would it have been? And oh man, did we miss out? And that's an interesting question to pose.
Yeah, I think it's funny. I think I was actually thinking about that recently with Slaughter in San Francisco.
Hmm.
All the stories that have gone around that was meant to be for Bruce Lee as well. I didn't know that, and I had seen Slaughter in San Francisco many years ago when I was a kid. I had a VHS of it, except it was here in the States. It was called Karate Cop.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I remember watching it back then. And I thought it was fine. It had Chuck Norris, and I didn't know who Don Wong was at the time, but I like that guy. He's really really talented.
He's cool.
Um, yeah, he's a cool guy. I remember liking like the fight choreographies and all that. Slaughter in San Francisco is straight up basher movie, and everybody on this channel knows how much I love bashers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for the longest time, I didn't know that was kind of meant to be a Bruce Lee film, and so when I discovered that, I thought the same thing. I was like, oh man, I think that would be probably really awesome if Bruce had gotten to do that movie. We get to see Bruce and Chuck fight twice,
Yeah.
not once but twice. I would have loved to. I would have loved to see that. It's kind of a shame.
It is a shame. It is a shame, isn't it? And there's like the film with George Lazenby. I think it was his first one, Stoner. I think it had a different title at the time. It's not popping into my head right now. Maybe somebody's listening could pop it down for us. I think it was Temple of something or other. But yeah, Stoner, that would have been possible. Well, it would have been Bruce Lee film with George Lazenby. He'd obviously got George signed up through Golden Harvest, which is why he did the three films that he did. Stoner, Queen's Ransom, Man from Hong Kong. So that would have been a completely different kettle of fish. And then there's pictures that you can find online and in several books of Bruce dressed up in full Shaw Brother regalia. And The Rebellious Reign, that was another film that he was supposed to have done, which was done afterwards, but not with Bruce. And you're like, oh man, what would it have been like? Bruce doing like a Shaw Brothers style film, and all that costume with the ponytail and everything. I'm like, oh man, I really would, kill to see that. I mean, I'd love to be like Jet Li in a one and go to an alternate dimension where Bruce didn't die and he made those films. And watch them and possibly bring them back to this collection, this dimension, and put them in my collection because I need to see those films.
Yeah. So going back to the, we'll jump back over to the Bruceploitation box set. Leon, you said you had the list pulled up.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and run through those real quick, and we'll see. Chances are I'm not gonna know hardly any of these, but yeah, we'll run through them and just see what we got.
Okay, so disc 1, Enter the Clones of Bruce Lee, which we just discussed in depth, and we're super psyched for that. If you guys haven't worked it out, disc 2. Now I'm looking forward to seeing this in a bit better quality. The Clones of Bruce Lee, 1980. What do you think of that one, Kaleb? Are you psyched for that one?
I am excited to see it. That's another one of those movies that I haven't seen. I have seen a little bit of footage of it though, and it looks pretty insane. I'm definitely looking forward to that. I think that's gonna be fun. I mean, and it's got Bruce Lee. You know, again, he's probably my favorite. So it's gonna be cool to see him, but not just him. You know, again, we're also gonna have Bruce Ty, Bruce and Bruce Lizo, and not L.I. Bruce Lie, but L.A.I. Bruce Lie.
I know it gets confusing. I mean, oof.
And we got Bolo in there too, so I think it's gonna be pretty fun.
I know, because everybody wanted to see Bruce fight Bolo in Enter the Dragon, so you didn't get it. So here you go. You get Bolo fighting Bruce in Bruceploitation all over the place so many times, which is great.
Yeah, Bruce Lee and Bolo square off many times, like in the genre, and you know, I guess that was just them trying to make up for the fact that we were robbed of Bruce Lee versus Bolo in Enter the Dragon.
I know, because there's pictures of them, isn't there, behind the scenes, like squared up and stuff, and you're like, oh man, that would have been something. That really would have been something.
Yeah.
But you've also got on this too, yeah, Enter 3 dragons. I mean, how cool is that? You get 3 of them.
Yeah, I like that, but I haven't. Again, I know nothing about that one, so unfortunately, I can't chime in there.
Yeah, I'm not too. This is going to be like a big education for you and I, and for a lot of people, because you know a lot of these films haven't been around, you know, for a long time, and especially today where everybody craves the quality and the remaster, you might see like a cheap version on like Prime or on YouTube, but you kind of skip past it because it's so bad it just puts you off the film. Disc 3, Enter the Game of Death.
Yes. Yeah. So I gotta, I mentioned, I know I mentioned it a couple times, but I love Enter the Game of Death. I think that's a really fun movie. It's just so nutty. It's just an insane movie. And, you know, the whole tower sequence, absolutely love that. You know, we get all kinds of really great stuff. We get, you know, a nunchuck fight in the tower. You get a guy who can only fight when the red light gets turned on. Bruce Lee fights a dude who literally uses snakes as a weapon. I still hate that so much because I do not like snakes, but it's there. You know, where else are you going to see something like that? And then Bruce Lee fights Bolo, I don't know, like 50 times in that movie. there's a lot of repetitive fight scenes because Bruce Lee fights like the same person just multiple times. That doesn't mean that the fight scenes are bad though. The choreography is still outstanding. Enter the Game of Death is going to be a lot of fun.
They certainly put, you know, they're all into it, don't they? And on the same disc, we have Goodbye, Bruce Lee, His Last Game of Death. So another spin on the Game of Death. Story. I know nothing about this one, Kaleb. Do you know anything about that one?
I've heard of it. I think it might be I don't know. I can't ask you because maybe someone in the comments could tell us. But I think that might be kind of like a biopic because they did a lot of biopics with different Bruceploitation actors. I think that might be kind of like that. But I really don't know. I've heard that title though. I've heard it like many times, but can't talk about what happens in the story. I know nothing about it.
I get so excited when I see Game of Death anywhere because I know most people, the biggest bone is with Game of Death because obviously there's footage of Bruce in his funeral, and that's been repeated in quite a few films, and I guess a lot of people find it distasteful. I can kind of understand that. Well, I do understand that completely. So it depends on your mileage as an individual as to whether you can cope watching that or not. and I've got no criticism of anybody to decide they want to, they don't want to.
Mhm.
But I like the whole game of death like mythos, and we heard all these different stories over the years of, well, so many, oh, Samo was going to be on a different floor, so and so was going to be on the floor,
Mhm.
and then we got the Bruce Lee box set from Arrow, and then you got that massive, extended game of death. So that's fantastic. But also, he never finished the film, so to see all these different interpretations, magic.
Yeah, definitely. What else we got?
Right, this 4, The Dragon Lives Again from 1977, and Bruce and the Iron Finger from 1979. And I thought I'd seen that one, but I think the one I've seen is Bruce Lee's Deadly Fingers.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't. I've heard of Iron Finger and I've heard of Bruce's Deadly Fingers, but again, haven't seen either of those. I know The Dragon Lives Again. That is, I haven't seen that one, but I do know a decent bit of it, and I know that's a very notorious one because you got Bruce Long playing Bruce Lee, and he's fighting James Bond and the Man with No Name and Dracula and all that. I've seen some of the footage, and yeah, that one looks absolutely insane. I mean, I thought Enter the Game of Death was insane. That one may be even crazier. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I think
We
that's gonna.
all enjoy a bit of insanity every now and again. I mean, look at the stuff we watch, like Seventh Curse and Robotrix, and we love all these crazy films because they're fun. It's as simple as that. Right, this 5 on this one I'm excited about ever since I heard a podcast on it, Podcast on Fire. Challenge of the Tiger from 1980 and Cameroon Connection from 1984. You heard of either of these?
Yeah, I do know Challenge of the Tiger. Again, haven't seen it, seen bits of it. Which
You've seen the
that
tennis bit. You've seen
yeah.
the tennis bit, haven't you?
Yeah, I've seen that. I also saw Bruce Lee fighting the bull. That's all I can remember right now. But yeah, from what I have seen, that movie is also pretty insane. I'm looking forward to that. I think that's going to be a fun experience. There was actually it's already passed, but they actually did a screening of Challenge of the Tiger. I think in Dallas, Texas, which is
Cool.
a few hours for me. I would have liked to have made that screen because Bruce Lee was there as well. They were like doing a double screening. They were doing the Clones documentary, and then they did Challenge of the Tiger, and Bruce Lee was there for that. I would have loved to go see that, but just couldn't make it happen there.
I think it's one as well where Richard Harrison did the full film, didn't he? Because obviously they put him in all those cut and paste IFD Ninja movies with the Garfield phone and whatnot. So it looks like he actually had some chemistry with Bruce Lee. And I'm looking forward to that. And the Cameroon Connection, I've watched the trailer for, and I've got to admit, I'm quite excited for that as well. It looks something different.
Yeah, it looks interesting. Looks like it might be a good action-packed movie. So
Yeah. The fun thing is going to be when we get it and we go through it, and then we discover the ones that we didn't expect are actually our favorites. Always happens, doesn't it?
yeah.
This 6, Super Dragon, the Bruce Lee story from 1974, and Dragon Lives from 1976. So yeah,
Super Dragon. I've heard some things about that one. I think it's a bit of a polarizing one too in the genre. But yeah, not much I can say about that one. I do want to point out though that that you saying the title it again makes me think about how many movies they have out there that are like some sort of variation of the title Dragon Bruce Lee story or something like that. There's a lot of movies that have some sort of variation of that title.
Yeah, you got keywords, haven't you? Dragon, game, death,
Story.
Yeah, it's all there. But yeah, very much looking forward to those. And I tell you what's got me more excited than anything is the level of the extras that they've got. I mean, if we was to go through them, we'd never be off. We'd be on all night. all day. But yeah, the extras look fantastic.
Yeah, I will. I will call out one. I will call out one special feature that they're gonna have on there. Again, if we'll be here all night if we dive into all the features, but I do want to point out one, and that is the Kung Fu theater intros that Michael Worth will be doing. Apparently, for each movie, there's going to be like just like a short little segment of him introducing the film, talking a little bit about it. I would love to see that. I'm going to start every single movie with those Kung Fu theater intros. I can't wait for that.
Oh yeah. I mean, and he comes across as such a nice guy, Michael Worth, doesn't he?
I've talked to him a couple times, and he on on Instagram, but yeah, he is super nice guy.
Have you asked him on the channel?
Not yet.
You should do that.
Yeah, Michael Worth, if you ever see this, I'd love to have you on. But yeah, I mean, I might reach out to him eventually. And
yeah, I'd love to see that. I'd love to see you chat with Michael Worth. And well, who knows? I know he's going to be a busy guy, but
yeah, he's a nice guy though. Shout out to Michael. Thank you, Michael.
Shout out to Michael Worth. Cool dude. Right, so then we're on to Disc 7, and we've got one I have seen first. The Dragon, the Hero from 1980. Good fun film, that. And Rage of the Dragon, 1980. So, do you know much about either of those?
I've heard the title, The Dragon, the Hero, get thrown around, but haven't seen it, no.
It's a Godfrey Hell film, and
okay.
I think it's... I could be wrong again because the titles are so similar, but I think it's the one with John Liu in it as well. Dragon Lee, John Liu. I'm pretty sure that one's in there, and I think that's it. And if so, my good friend Taz, he brought that round to me. So shout out to Taz. I don't know if you're watching this, Taz, but if you do, thanks for introducing me to that one many years ago. Rage of the Dragon. I've not heard of that one, but again, that makes me more excited. I don't know about it, and it's out there. So something more to learn about. That's what I love.
Yeah.
This is a nuts disc, Kaleb. You got the Big Boss Part 2, 1976, and the Black Dragon versus the Yellow Tiger, 1974.
Yeah, big. We mentioned it earlier. Big Boss Part 2. That's a big deal right there. So I'm looking forward to that. And also, I do just want to plug this right here. Disclaimer though, Severin or whoever is not sponsoring this, so I don't want you guys to get the wrong idea. I promise I'm not trying to promote anything here. I'm not getting paid to promote this or anything like that, but I do want to say, if anybody out there is curious about Big Boss Part 2, and what was the other one?
Black Dragon versus the Yellow Tiger.
Dragon, Yellow Tiger, yeah. If anybody's curious about those movies and wants to see those when you get that set, make sure you order it from Severin, from the Severin website, because it is a website exclusive disc. So if you guys want to see that movie, I just want to give you guys a heads up. Make sure you order it from Severin. You can order the set from other sites, but those two films are on a bonus disc, and you got to order from Severin to get that. So yeah, just throwing that out there.
Good shout out, Kaleb, and thank you for the reminder. So I make sure that's where I order it from. So that's the 8th and final disc. And wait till we have them on our hands, folks. We'll do this all over again. Yeah,
it's gonna be a lot of fun. I cannot wait. It's gonna be so great. And shout out to Frank Jang. Frank, he got me with I just thought about this and I wanted to bring that up. But yeah, Frank got me with that title, Game of Clones. So the title for the set, Game of Clones, obviously Volume 1. Apparently that title got leaked out at some point, and I had talked about it on my video that I did of Bruceploitation, and Frank reached out to me and said that that's not the name of the set. And so I was like, oh man. And so I posted a comment, or I pinned a comment on the video saying that apparently I was mistaken. But no, then the official announcement happened, and that was the name of the set. Frank got me right there.
I followed all that. I watched both the videos, yours and Jason's, and
Jason had to redo the video and everything. I just made a comment, like
I'd take option B as well. I think I'd take option B, but yeah, good man, Jason, for doing that.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, shout out to Frank. Thanks, Frank.
Yep, thank you, Frank. Frank is the man. We love listening to him.
Yeah, the master of remaster. So yeah, with the with that out of the way, I mean, we've talked about the set. We just attempted to cover every single movie that was on there. But I think now would be a really good time to go ahead and just dive into our own personal journeys with Bruceploitation. I already talked a lot about this when I did my video, so I think I think I'll open the floor to Leon first, and we'll let him just take us down the road of Bruceploitation for him. So Leon, I guess we'll just kind of start it with where did you start with Bruceploitation?
Okay, I will start. I have some notes because I'm old and I need notes. Right. So I did start with the Game of Death, and Kim Tai Chung was my first Bruceploitation actor. And I didn't know when I watched Game of Death. I just thought it was Bruce Lee because I was very, very young. And it wasn't until a little bit later on in the later 80s, when they put up a billboard in the local video store saying Game of Death 2. And me and my brother looked at each other, holy hell, Game of Death 2. He made another one. And nobody knew, and they've just found it. And we was convinced, like, yeah. So
you made another one.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny because I like had that same reaction too when I first heard about it. I was like, "There's another one."
Yeah, I know. I was like, "Oh, he must have had 2 on the go and not finished either." Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Guess again. And yeah, so for me, he was Bruceploitation, Kim Tai Chung, because after the Game of Death 2, the next bit of Bruceploitation I came across would have been No Retreat, No Surrender. Same actor playing the ghost of Bruce Lee. And like many a lad my age, you'd watch that film and then you'd go into the bedroom, you'd be doing push-ups, sit-ups, get out the
Go out for
mitts,
a run.
Yeah, you just love it, don't you? You want to be trained by Bruce Lee. Everybody's dream. I want Bruce Lee's girls to come and train me.
Yeah, I had said I had talked about this. For those who don't know, I did cover No Retreat, No Surrender on my podcast, Kaleb's Kung Fu Cinema. I did cover that video a couple months back, or that movie a couple months back, and yeah, and what's the word? The relation, I'll say the relation that I felt with this movie was insane because, Jason Stillwell in the film, Kurt McKinney's character, obviously being the Bruce Lee fanatic that he is in the movie, is me. Like when I watch that movie and I see, Tim talking about how much he admired Bruce Lee or going to Bruce Lee's grave and stuff like that, I'm like, that's me right there. And I have visited Bruce Lee's grave on 2 different occasions. So that was always really cool. I've been to Seattle a couple of times, like years ago, and I each time I went, I would try to go visit his grave. The second time I went, it was like kind of during the winter, and so it got dark faster. And I remember when we went to Seattle that second time, it got dark really fast, and then it started raining. But I was like, I need to go see his grave. I need to go. I had been there once before. I was like, I need to go because Amber, my wife, was with me as well, and I wanted to take her over there to see it too. So even though it was dark and raining, we went over there. We went out of our way to go do that. So
nice. That's cool. That's really cool. And I'd just like to also shout out Kurt McKinney whilst we're here, because I put up a post which was a little teaser without saying anything on Instagram, and it was Bruceploitation. I put a picture of Kurt fighting Jean-Claude Van Damme from No Retreat, No Surrender with the Bruceploitation logo underneath, and Kurt McKinney liked the post. And I was like, oh my God, the guy that I used to watch and wanted to be when I was younger has liked our post. Yep. So shout out to that guy for this, taking this few seconds to do that. It meant a lot to lifelong fan.
Yeah, Kurt is a really, really cool guy. I haven't interacted with him, but just from what I've seen, super nice guy from what it looks like. I'd love to talk to him one day too. Hopefully I can make that happen.
That'd be cool, wouldn't it? That'd be cool. I mean, he's in the last Kumite coming up as well. I think that's out this month, isn't it? So looking forward to that, seeing him in action again. Cool.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I remember I did a video for Last Kumite. That was one of our collaborations as well, I think. But anyway, I had covered Last Kumite. I'm still super excited about the movie. It's gonna be great to see Kurt McKinney again, because he hasn't done a martial arts film in decades at this point. So that's gonna be really fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I always liked him in Sworn for Justice with Cynthia Rothrock too. They get a little steamy in that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
right.
also, and you're gonna know this one.
Mhm.
Another big one that, because I'd seen Bruceploitation as a youngster, because my brother used to go to the video shop and he'd hire out, these Bruce knockoff videos, and I said to Jason about one of them. I said, "Oh, he gets burnt in the face." I said, "I'm not sure whether it's a blowtorch or whatever it was." And
Yeah.
Jason did find, he knew it straight away. He knew what the film was, and I haven't seen it since, but I'm hoping to get to watch it. I think there's a version on YouTube. I can't remember the name of the film, but I've got it in my watch list. Watch later. And all those, I was so young, I shouldn't have been watching them. Bad parenting, mum, brother. But good for me.
Yeah. Perry fan 49. Thanks for tuning in, Perry fan. It's all right. Don't worry. It'll still be here for you to watch later. Yeah. Shout out to Perry fan 49. Great guy. One of my favorite subscribers. I'll say he's always interacting with me. So thank you for tuning.
He's one of the best in the community, and he supports us all, and he's so cool. He's always got comments. Brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah. So where were we? Which one were we on?
Oh yeah, I was just about to say, I'd kind of gone off the Bruceploitation thing then, and then Dragon came out with Jason Scott Lee.
Yeah, actually, hang on. I'm sorry. Let me back up for a second. The Bruceploitation film you said we got burned in the face. What was it called?
I can't remember. It's in my watch later list. I mean, there's so many, like you said, there's so many similar titles. I don't want to say it and then immediately there'll be a comment saying, no, it's this one. So if somebody knows, feel free to put it down. But yeah, Jason knows it.
Yeah.
And I'll message you privately later when I find out what it is. But yeah, it scared the hell out of me as a kid. It really did. It made a massive impact on me. I think after that, I was kind of not watching the Bruceploitation rentals then, because they were like, nah, a bit too much for you.
Yeah. Thanks, Perry. Yeah, again, for those who don't know, Kaleb's Kung Fu Cinema podcast has been retired. I already did a whole video on this. We did the final episode, but yeah, thank you to everyone that has listened to that, and yeah, thanks to Perry fan 49 for the comment. Appreciate it.
I actually got a little choked at work listening to that.
Yeah,
it felt sad, like the end of an era.
Yeah, it does a little bit. I mean, I did it for about 3.5 years, which one of the best decisions I ever made doing that. Because if I hadn't started that podcast, I wouldn't have decided to start reaching out to all the Hong Kong cinema groups and then meeting guys like you and guys like Fanatical Dragon, Jason, us from Touch of Film, Will. Tristan, Martial Arts Film Freak, Cool Movie Graham, Sid, Andrew Amflit. Shout out to all those guys, our Easy Cinema Circle brothers. Yeah. Let's see. There's another one. Perry fan, thank you. Leon Chess, you guys have a great podcast too, and I enjoy listening. Yes. Yeah, everyone check out the HKB podcast as well.
Yes, thank you. I'll just, if I may just take a quick aside, we have had a bit of hiatus. We've been really backs to the wall, trying to catch up with things, but we will be back on that. Shaz has got stuff planned, so it's not going anywhere. It's just delayed. Yeah,
it'll be good to see you guys back. Anyway, enough of the backtrack right there. We'll go back. Jason, sorry. Yeah, Leon, you mentioned Dragon the Bruce Lee story with Jason Scott Lee. That's why I said Jason. But you mentioned Dragon the Bruce Lee story, and I've recently I've kind of my love for that movie has kind of been reignited. So I would definitely love to talk about that one. So yeah, let's talk about Dragon the Bruce Lee story.
I loved it. I mean, I really loved that film. I was so excited when Jason Scott Lee, when you'd see him training with Dan and Santa and stuff, getting ready for the film, and he'd really put a lot into it. And at the time, I thought, oh my God, they could make Game of Death with Jason Scott Lee the way Bruce Lee wanted. Do it. And they didn't. He went and did the Jungle Book. I went, oh, what the hell, Jason Scott Lee?
Yeah. I remember when I first saw Dragon, my dad had gotten it on VHS, and I remember watching it all all the time. It was definitely one of my most viewed movies as a kid. Um, uh, in this day and age, though, I mean, I don't want to be too much of a Debbie Downer, but in this day and age, as much as I still love Dragon the Bruce Lee story, I think it's a really great movie, a lot of fun. There are a couple of moments in the movie where I feel Jason Scott Lee hammed it up a little bit. It's just a little, like just a little minor thing that kind of bothers me a little bit with that movie. I think he went a little over the top at some moments. That I'm not trying to take anything away from him, though. I promise. I still think he is an excellent actor. He played the part very well. Did a great job at the choreography and getting in shape for the movie. It's still a very fun movie, even if I think he went a little, even if I think he got a little outrageous in some moments.
Yeah, no. On a serious note, I'm not. I wasn't having a dig at him because he went and expanded himself as an actor,
Yeah,
and he did some great films. Rapinui, I liked. The one set on Easter Island. There's a film called Map of the Human Heart where he plays an Eskimo
yeah,
opposite the original Nikita and Paralleled. So I really enjoyed that. And then it was sad to see him disappear and just get bit parts and things like Balls of Fury. Until obviously we had him turn up in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon 2,
yeah.
which was nice. And then he turned up in Mulan, the Disney one.
Hmm.
And I thought, wow, he still looks good. He's still got it. You know, I personally would still like to see more from Jason Scott Lee because
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit of a waste that we've only had stuff like Time Cop 2 and things like that when I feel like he could hold bigger movies. You know, he could.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny you mentioned Balls of Fury. I watched that a couple of days ago. I love
Oh,
that.
it's great.
I
It's
love
great,
it.
isn't it?
It's so funny. It is so funny. And and many people like to point out the irony in Balls of Fury where Jason Scott Lee's character Eddie, he plays the character who is saying, you can't teach foreigners. It's funny, a lot of people like to point out the irony that he's playing the character saying, you can't teach foreigners. Whenever he did Dragon the Bruce Lee story, a big part of it was people telling him you can't teach foreigners. So yeah, just again,
Yeah.
the irony is there.
Yeah, it was great, wasn't it? I like that. And of course you got Maggie Q in that as well.
Oh yeah.
I don't think Shaz is watching this.
Yeah. Yeah, she's great, and it was cool that she got to do all the fighting. I like that. I
Yeah,
like
she's good.
I like how each time they kind of needed a fight to get done, they just kind of look at her. It was great.
Yeah, I do love her. I love her so much.
Yeah.
And I wanted a question if you know about these bits of Bruceploitation, yeah. 3 in
Mhm.
particular, like early sort of parodies, if you like.
Yeah.
So John Landis did a film in 1977 called The Kentucky Fried Movie.
Yeah, yeah, I know that one. What was it? A fistful of yen? Is that what they called it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember.
Brilliant, isn't it? When he's replicating the sneaking around the guards and he's knocking everything over. Absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, what was the line? It was take him to Detroit. No, please, anything but that. Yeah. Oh yeah, Kentucky Fried Movie. That's a good one.
It is brilliant. And then Johnny Yoon played Bruce twice in 1982, 1987 in They Call Me Bruce. And they still call me Bruce, which I've always remembered the trailers, but I never got to see them.
Yeah.
Did you see
I've
those?
No, I haven't. I've heard of They Call Me Bruce, but
Mm,
I didn't know that there was a They
sequel.
Still Call Me Bruce.
Yeah. So maybe somebody out there will get hold of these. Probably, all the companies are looking, going, nah, we're not putting those out. What are you thinking? But I would like to see them, even if it's just put up on streaming or something, because I always wanted to see it, never saw it, and I like a bit of spoofing. And
I'm a big fan of big fan of parodies and stuff like that. My wife Amber, she does not like them, and
no,
and I'll always watch stuff like like Kung Pao, Enter the Fist, or there's also a very low budget unknown kung fu parody movie called Kung Fui, which I may do a video on that because it's an interesting one. That's another kung fu parody film.
I don't know that one. You're gonna
I
have to do that now.
did. Yeah, yeah, I do plan on doing a video about that one. So yeah, keep your eyes
Right.
out for that.
And my favorite Bruceploitation so far, yeah, and we have covered it on the channel, so you might guess, or you'll certainly register when I say it, was 1978, Sammo Hung, Enter the Fat Dragon.
Yeah, Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, I haven't. Again, sorry, I haven't seen that one. Or I've seen parts of it, and it looks a lot of fun. Sammo Hung does an excellent job as as Bruce Lee. So
Yeah, he's very on board, isn't he? And if anybody doesn't have access to that and they want to see Samuel doing Bruce, there's also Skinny Tiger, Fatty Dragon, in which
yeah,
he's doing his Bruce thing in that too, which is a lot of fun. Great film.
yeah, I have the Eureka release of Skinny Tiger, Fatty Dragon, and that's a really great movie. A lot of fun.
Yeah, I like that. And plus, you get that awesome documentary on it about Mark Houghton, White
Yeah,
Tiger.
yeah.
Great. So yeah, we're not being sponsored by Eureka either, are we? But good job, guys.
No. Yeah.
Leading from Enter the Fat Dragon 78, we then go over to Donnie Yen in 2020. Enter
Yeah.
the Fat Dragon. Have you seen that
Yeah.
one?
No.
Right. So
Yeah,
that's
I want to check that one out though.
it's not a bad film actually. It wasn't my favorite Donnie film, but what I liked about it was the Bruce elements. So
Hmm.
we get some nunchaku fights, which we expect in Bruce or Bruceploitation. And at the beginning of the film, when he's sad when he's broke up with his wife or his girlfriend, he's watching his Bruce Lee Blu-rays, which I thought that's brilliant. That's like today's generation, like, you know.
Oh,
So that was nice. And also, of course, we had Donnie play Bruce or Bruce's characters in like the Fist of Fury TV show. And a little bit later on, we had Chen Sen, Legend of the Fist.
yeah.
So that, have you seen that one? Chen
Um,
Sen, Legend of the Fist?
yeah, with Donnie Yen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have seen that. When did I watch that? I watched that not too long ago. I think it was like kind of like towards the end of last year. I
Yeah.
watched it, and it was actually better than I remembered. You know, I had seen Legend of the Fist. When did I watch that for the first time? I think the first time I watched it was in like 2013, maybe. So
Yeah.
about 11 years ago. I had seen that, and I remember at the time I don't know. I didn't think it was that good. I thought it was kind of I guess it's kind of flawed in some areas. But I revisited it, months and months back,
Yeah.
and it's a lot better than I remembered it being.
Well, that's interesting because I remember the undercranking being absolutely insane, and that
Yeah.
kind of put me off at the time. I don't mind undercranking if it makes the action look really crisp and flowy, but
Hmm.
when it starts to look on the verge of being like comical, like suddenly turning from Kung Fu to Benny Hill, then it kind of makes me a little bit shy. Like, it's like
Yeah.
but I will revisit that because I do like Donnie doing this Bruce thing, and I need to see it again. And one of my favorite interpretations, yeah, was Philip Ing in Birth of the Dragon.
Yeah. I need to. I was telling myself recently. I told a friend of mine too that I plan on revisiting that movie
Mhm.
because when it came out in 2017, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, when it came out in 2017, I did not like it.
Mhm.
However, I do think maybe in some ways I was probably a little too hard on it, so I do plan on revisiting it. I mean, but I will say, just kind of right off the bat, Philip Ung, love that guy,
Yeah.
and
He's good.
his performance in that, his performance as Bruce is great. Like he really like nailed the part. Even if I don't really agree with the way they portrayed Bruce as a character, he still really nailed it.
Yeah. Yeah, he was good, and he kind of did it in another film as well. I can't remember the year, but Once Upon a Time in Shanghai, he fought in
Yeah,
that same sort of Bruce style in that.
yeah, that
I
was
love that film.
2014.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I recently watched. I didn't watch the movie, but I did watch some. I did watch some clips. I do like going back and just revisiting old fight
Mm.
scenes from from certain movies or whatever. And I
Mhm.
recently just kind of revisited the fight scenes from Once Upon a Time in Shanghai, and that movie is just fantastic. Such a great movie. And Philip Ung, again, yeah, his performance is really good. That movie is definitely a tribute to to Bruce Lee and to his films. At least that's how I see it.
Mm.
But yeah, I think that's a really great one.
Yeah, I do. He was good at that, and it would have been nice to see him do more. And look into the future, Caleb. Of course, we've got the big Bruce Lee biopic coming out from Ang Lee,
Yeah,
his son Mason Lee playing Bruce. I'm pretty excited about that. How do you feel about that?
yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it could be really good. Ang Lee's a great director. I don't really know anything about his son, so I can't say how I feel about about how well I think his son might do or whatever. But I just don't know that much about him, but I do like Ang Lee as a filmmaker, and I'm looking forward to this. It's obviously been a while since we had a Bruce Lee movie of any kind, so I'm looking forward to this. Uh, uh, I think I may be a little apprehensive on maybe how they're going to portray Bruce or how they're going to tell the story, because that is something that you really gotta make sure when you're telling your story, you got to make sure you do it in a way that is not gonna maybe not cause too much of a stir, because the story, whatever it is, can really turn some heads.
Yeah, we talking like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Yeah. I actually did not hate that movie. I actually really like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think that's a good movie.
I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved
Mike.
it.
Yeah, Mike Moe as Bruce Lee. I love Mike Moe. He's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great as Ryu in Street Fighter Assassin's Fist.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, I still believe Street Fighter Assassin's Fist best video game adaptation out there right now. And
Yeah.
some may be asking me if I've seen The Last of Us on Max. I haven't, so I can't say whether or not that may be the best video game adaptation, because I just haven't seen it yet. But for me, I still think Street Fighter Assassin's Fist is perfect adaptation right there. And Mike Moe was excellent as Ryu. So yeah, I really like Mike Moe. I thought as far as playing Bruce Lee in that movie, like the mannerisms and the voice and all that,
Yeah.
he did an excellent job right there. And I like that scene that he has. Okay, the way that Quentin Tarantino kind of presented Bruce Lee is questionable, but I mean, you still can't take away from Mike Moe there.
No, you can't. And I just put it into perspective. It's film. It's a fictional film. It's a fairy tale. That's where the Once Upon a Time part comes in. So whatever happens in that film, the filmmaker decides it's not real. It's not a representation of reality. It's a complete work of fiction. So I enjoyed it on that basis and put any gripes aside, which I know a lot of people couldn't do. And I get that, we've all got different tolerances to different levels. I'm not going to tell anybody else what to think or feel. But yeah, I enjoyed that film. And Shaz had a couple of notes that she wanted me to add. Now, it's Shaz notes, yeah. So she thinks outside the box, yeah. Even more so than I do. She said, and at first I was completely stunned. So don't turn off, guys, when you hear this. Bear with me. Pink Panther. I'm like, what the hell? What the hell do you mean, the Pink Panther?
Pink Panther.
And she said, what about Quark? She says, he plays Kato. She said, Bruce Lee played Kato in the Green Hornet. She said, do you think there would have been Kato in the Pink Panther, leaping out the cupboard, attacking Inspector Clouseau, if there hadn't been Bruce Lee? I'm like, shit. I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
I never thought of that. Why have I never thought of that? And I thought, maybe she's got a point there, That's influence. It might not be Bruceploitation, but it's definitely influential.
Mm-hmm.
And also from that, we got Green Hornet as well from 2011 with Seth Rogen and Jay Chow. And that I enjoyed.
I did not like that movie.
You didn't like it?
No. Jay Chow, who played Kato, he did a good job. I don't know. I just didn't really like that movie.
That's okay. We can still be friends.
Well, I think the I just don't really know if I like the tone of it. When I had watched the Green Hornet show. I remember I don't remember what birthday was, but as a birthday gift, my dad got me the season, the whole first and only season of Green Hornet on DVD. And I remember I watched it all the time because it was Bruce Lee. So so I would watch Green Hornet all the time, and so I had familiarized myself quite a bit with the Green Hornet and like the way the show was and like the tone of the show. And then whenever I found out they were doing a Green Hornet movie, I was excited at first, but then when I saw that trailer and I see Kato and Green Hornet in the riding the Black Beauty while Seth Rogen is rapping "Gangster's Paradise," I was like, what the hell is this? And it just completely turned me off. And I saw the movie and I don't know. I couldn't get into it. I could not forgive that movie.
Well, let's take it back a step from where we are then and look at other tangential references, because we just mentioned Street Fighter.
Yeah.
And then Street Fighter or Super Street Fighter 2, they brought in Fei Long.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce Lee, isn't it? It's definitely Bruce Lee.
Yeah, I love Fei Long. That's actually for those who don't know, a lot of guys do, but I'm a huge fan of fighting games. I love Tekken and Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat and all that stuff. And as far as like Bruce Lee inspired characters go, there's so many of them in video games. But as far as like Bruce Lee inspired characters in video games go, I think Fei Long is the best. Like he's my favorite. I love Fei Long. He's literally like the embodiment of Bruce Lee. He looks just like him. He's got the same career and all of that. I think he's like the perfect Bruce Lee inspired
video game. Yeah, there's like you say, every fight game's got one, haven't they? Tekken got Law. Mortal Kombat, you got what's he called?
Liu Kang.
Yeah. Yep. So he's in there everywhere, and I like that. I like that the legacy of Bruce has gone through many different mediums. I mean, I've got some comics as well, Bruce Lee ones from way back in the 90s, and they're really cool. And also Shang-Chi, Deadly Hands of Kung Fu, definitely Bruce Lee inspired. I used to think it was a Bruce Lee comic when I was a kid, but no, I was told no, it's not. But it looks like Bruce.
Yeah, I think I would have liked to. You mentioned Shang-Chi, and I would like to point out the movie that came out a couple of years ago from Marvel. I love that movie. I thought it was great. It didn't feel very Bruce Lee-esque though. It felt more like Jackie Chan. With like it almost felt kind of like a combination of like Jackie Chan and Dragon Ball, which I think those similarities have already kind of like been addressed. People have made that connection, of course, but yeah, like now that you mentioned though that Bruce Lee obviously kind of inspired the original Shang-Chi comic. I think I would have liked maybe the action be kind of Bruce Lee-esque.
Yeah, that would have been nice. That's what I was hoping for. I didn't gel with Shang-Chi as much. I mean, I enjoyed it as far as Marvel films go because I don't really enjoy them. So it was a better one for me. But like yourself, I wanted to see Bruce Lee style action, and it would have really made it that much special for me.
Yeah, I still enjoy that movie. Like even if I would have liked maybe more Bruce Lee style action there, but I still thought it was really great. And that was the first Marvel movie I had seen in years. Like I don't think I had seen a Marvel movie for like 4 years. But since it was Shang-Chi, I decided, okay, I'm going to give this a chance because it's something that I would probably enjoy. And yeah, I'm glad I went and saw it.
Yeah, cool. Well, I've got like about 300 plus Shaw Brother films. Yeah, one I haven't got is Bruce Lee and I, where Danny Lee plays Bruce Lee. Have you ever seen that one or heard of it?
I'm not sure. It doesn't sound familiar.
Well, it's Danny Lee, sir, and Betty Ting Pei was in that, who obviously Bruce was rumored to be having the affair with.
Okay.
And I think she had that film made. I could be wrong, so apologies if I am. But I think the film, it was something to do with her wanting to put it out there. And it's about her and Bruce, and it's all over the screen in a Shaw Brother movie, which I thought was kind of ironic, as he turned Shaw Brothers down, and then they put this out. It's like, oh, is that a little, stick the knife in that? I don't know. Maybe they just thought we need to make some cash. Who knows?
Yeah, definitely.
But I'd like to get my hands on it now, definitely, especially in the current environment.
Yeah, I think, I think that's you mentioned Betty Ting Pei, and I think that's kind of going back to one of the films that's going to be on the set, Super Dragon. I think that was another one of those movies. From what I've heard, that was another one of those movies that kind of, I guess, played a little bit with the whole, Bruce Lee, Betty Ting Pei thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, I can't say much about it because I just haven't seen the movie.
Well, that's cool. I think I've exhausted my list of notes, Caleb. I don't know. You got any more there?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think there's. Well, we haven't really mentioned New Fist and Fury, of course. With Jackie Chan. Yeah. It's funny. I had watched New Fist and Fury, so I've seen both cuts in the movie. There's like one like 2 hour cut, and then there's one cut that's like maybe an hour and 40 something minutes or something like that, or hour.
Yeah.
I don't know, somewhere in that area. But I had watched that shorter cut of New Fist of Fury, and I actually enjoyed it. It had some pretty good action. It was weird. It was kind of weird with all the kind of like how much they were comparing Jackie's character, to Chen Zhen. Like they did that whole like hand thing that was really awkward.
Yeah.
There was like a moment where he's fighting with a 3-second staff, and one of the pieces gets cut off and turns into nunchucks, and then there's just a lot of moments in the movie where they're like saying Jackie Chan, like, oh, he's just like Chen Zhen, and all this other stuff. And, then they, of course, try to replicate the ending with, all the people getting shot at the end. And it's got some questionable things, but I mean, I still thought the action was pretty good. I like Chen Sing as the villain. And I can't remember the name of the actress who played the girl, like the kid, the Taekwondo girl. I can't remember her name, but I liked her a lot too.
Yeah, and of course Nora Mal turns up in it as well, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Which I always like seeing her on screen. And I think those low-wage Jackie Chan films, I think most of them you could swap out Jackie, put Bruce in, and it would be a Bruce Lee film. Like Dragon Fist. That seems more like would have fit Bruce than it would Jackie. I'm not sure. Maybe not half Love Kung Fu though, but quite a few of them.
Yeah. Parafan, thanks again. My favorite to least favorite: Fist of Legend, Legend of the Fist, Fist of Fury, New Fist of Fury. Okay, yeah, that's not too bad. I don't know if I would put Legend of the Fist above Fist of Fury. If that's how you feel though, great.
We've neglected to mention the Jet Li Fist of Legend, haven't we? And it's such a good film, and it's getting its 4K soon, so we definitely should have covered that. So thank you, Perry Fan, for posting that.
Yeah, thanks. I actually did think about that earlier, like before we started this. I was thinking, oh, do we want to talk about Fist of Legend? But at the same time, I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't think that's really. I mean, of course, obviously, it's a remake of Fist of Fury. At the same time, it's not really Bruceploitation. It's just kind of like a different version of the story, really. I do love that movie, though. I mean, I did. That was actually the last movie we covered on Kaleb's Kung Fu Cinema, because our final episode 75, was just a general discussion. But the last movie we covered was Fist of Legend. And for those who haven't heard it, I will just say here, after kind of revisiting Fist of Legend and then talking about the movie on the podcast and everything, I actually think that's better than Fist of Fury. And for a long time, I didn't want to admit that, but I actually think Fist of Legend is the better movie. So I would definitely rank that as number one as far as like the Fist of Fury series goes.
Yep. I different days, different results with me. I always change. I could do a top 10, each year, and it could be different on the same topic.
Yeah, definitely. Perry, thanks again. Just feel a little better about the faster paced Legend of the Fist of Fury, and that's really the only reason I place it higher. Legend of the Fist definitely does go by quicker, and it does have probably you could probably say it has a little more action. You could definitely make that argument because
better villains.
Sorry,
better villains.
Yeah.
Yosaki Hirata, who isn't really a villain, but there's the fight with him, and then you got Billy Chow.
Yeah.
So it's got a strong advantage there, and plus you got Chin Soo Ho, which Bruce didn't really have as big a support characters in this film, but Chin Soo Ho is a strong part of why Fist of Legend works so well for me.
Yeah, I had said the same thing. Whenever I covered the movie, with Fist of Fury, Bruce really just carried that movie pretty much the entire thing. Not to take away from everyone else who was involved. I mean, there are other really great performers in there. There's Nora Mal, of course, and I'm sorry, I'm forgetting a lot of the other names. Bob Baker.
He was good.
Riki Hashimoto, who plays the villain Suzuki. But at the same time, pretty much all those characters did not have a lot of substance to them. And like Leon was saying, in Fist of Legend, a lot of these supporting characters and the villains are handled much better. They actually have, more, I guess, more of an identity and stuff like that. Kind of have like their own stories going on. So yeah, I would agree that they definitely handle the side characters better there.
Yeah. The only thing I will add though is that I still like the soundtrack in the original best.
Yeah. Yeah. The oh man, the opening theme for Fist of Fury is just so iconic. I love it. It's really great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not going to hum it, are we? We're not going to try that.
No. Maybe one day I'll do that. Yeah. And there's also oh man, I just thought about this too. We can't forget Brandon Lee's Legacy of Rage.
Bolo's in that again.
Yeah, it's got Bolo, and if you like look at certain posters for Legacy of Rage,
Bruce in it.
There is a drawing of Bruce Lee right behind Brandon, and so I think maybe in some ways, you got to acknowledge that movie as well. Brandon also very much acts like his dad in that movie with like in certain scenes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a fun one though.
On the same hand, And Now You're Dead with Shannon Lee, because she very much emulates her dad in her fights in that.
What's that one called? I didn't hear it.
And Now You're Dead.
Oh, I haven't.
Another title, Enter the Eagles as well. I think it was called as well. So there are 2 titles.
Okay, I'll
not seen that one.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, Benny the Jet's in that as well. I think he trained Shannon for that.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, it's
I'll
quite
look
fun.
into that.
You got Michael Wong in there. What more can you ask? You got Michael Wong in
there. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't know. Am I forgetting anything else? I don't know.
I can't think. I've emptied out. I need to refill, I think.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I think we can go ahead and wrap this up. I think I'm out of Bruceploitation films or any other sort.
Me too, but I'd just like to say, Caleb, before we do go, thank you very much for having me on this. I know out the ACC there's others more qualified to talk about Bruceploitation, but the fact that you invited me on means a lot to me, and I really enjoyed this opportunity to delve into it with you. And yeah, thank you. Love you, brother.
Yeah, thanks again for joining me. I appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who is watching the stream. Thank you to everyone who is going to be watching it afterwards if you were not able to join the stream. And yeah, again, subscribe and like and comment, all that good stuff, and subscribe to Leon's channel, Hong Kong and Beyond. His podcast is coming back really soon, so keep your eyes open for the HKB podcast as well. And yeah. Check out all that Bruceploitation stuff that we mentioned. If you haven't seen any of it, let us know in the comments what you guys think of Bruceploitation, what your favorite movies are, least favorite, whatever it is. And yeah, we're all looking forward to that Bruceploitation set. At least I know the 2 of us are. It's gonna be really fun. I cannot wait to go through all that.
And everybody can come and join us on Facebook in the ACC, the Asian Cinema Circle. Look us up, guys, and we'll welcome you in and post away to your heart's content.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, with that out of the way, we'll go ahead and wrap this up. So yeah, thanks again, guys. Thanks to Leon for joining the stream. It's a lot of fun. And yeah, we will see you guys again really soon. Yeah, Kung Fu, take care. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Take care as well. All right. So yeah, that's it. Thanks, guys, and we will see you on the next one.